Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine. I guess with the World Cup going on, it's about time I did some kind of video which features football. Football. This is because of YouTube. YouTube said the other day, Phil, you should do something about the World Cup. It's really trending at the moment. And if you want to, the YouTube AI can create a video for you. You don't even have to be in it. So I thought I'd ask the AI system just how popular this might be with the Now Spinning Magazine audience. And the response from the same AI that told me I should do a video about the World Cup and football said, Phil, your audience has little or no interest in this subject. AI, it's awesome, isn't it? Anyway, it did make me think, because personally, football doesn't really do anything for me, but I know for a lot of people it does. So I thought maybe I can pull together some tracks that kind of are the alternative, or the alternative to the World Cup, or if you're watching it, the soundtrack for the World Cup. And so I've picked 10 tracks and 5 albums. Okay, I've just done it really quickly. So quickly, in fact, I hadn't researched if I had everything around me, because Sue, my wife, has run off with one of the albums I was going to feature. But never mind. Let's see where we go. So I think I'm going to start with the tracks first of all. So, and they're not ranked. These are just literally as I've put the stuff in front of me. And then this is just a little bit of light relief from what's going on around us at the moment. Right, here we go. I'm going to go first of all with what's in front of me, which is Living on a Prayer. You'll probably notice there's a bit of humour in some of this, really. So Living on a Prayer from Bon Jovi, which is from Slippery When Wet. This is the best of Bon Jovi because Slippery When Wet is currently in the car with Sue, who's out with her friends. So I don't have that at the moment. So it's from the best of Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. I thought that was apt. Do you think? Next, I'm going to pick Won't Get Fooled Again. You know, with all this VAR stuff, I thought that would be a good track. So Won't Get Fooled Again by the classic album Who's Next by The Who from 1971. I think you could apply Won't Get Fooled Again to anything on the news at the moment. Okay, so that's that. Next, any opportunity to stick some Status Quo in here. I'm going to go with Down Down, which is probably more to do with the Premiership, but it'll do. Down Down is one of my favourite tracks. It is my favourite track by Status Quo from On the Level, 1974. I did a separate video about Down Down. It's that special to me. It's a single I literally wore out. I don't know why people actually say that, because it takes some doing to wear out a record to that level, but it does. It has the soundtrack to a 15-year-old schoolboy in amongst the grooves. I guess that's probably the safest way of saying it. So Down Down is next on my list. Next is Black Sabbath and Mob Rules. You can see very tenuous connections here, but so I say this is a soundtrack, the alternative soundtrack to the World Cup, or if you don't want to watch it, you know what I mean. I just said that a few moments ago. Mob Rules by Black Sabbath. I have to say I've grown closer to this album after Heaven and Hell. I kind of like that was such a classic. I kind of like it didn't resonate with this straight away, but of course now, you know, Ronnie James Dio, who all of us miss dearly. There's some wonderful stuff on here. Next is just looking at my list to make sure there's a crossover here between the albums and the tracks, so just making sure I'm not going to get confused, because that happens, doesn't it? Anyway, No More Mr. Nice Guy, depending on how the matches go, and that's got to be from this wonderful $1 Billion Babies album from 1973. Alice Cooper. This is the Super Deluxe edition, which I still haven't got around to actually showing you, but it's brilliant. So that's that one. Next is, I'm just going to cross some of these off because already I'm in a mess. I am. No, I'm not. Next, this is a good one. This is a good one. Don't Stop Believing by Journey. That works, doesn't it? I think that works. What an album this is, isn't it? I mean, it's perfect AOR album. The production on this, I never tire of it. It's just perfect. Frontiers is probably my favourite Journey album, but there's no doubt that there are elements on here that are beyond criticism, perhaps. There's bound to be someone in the world of the internet who can criticise this, but I can't. Next is a play on words, and it is Shoot Shoot from Fawcett 1975 by UFO. This was the first UFO album I ever bought, and I bought it purely because of the cover. No, not because I was a teenager full of hormones. It was just because I looked at the back cover, actually, and they had lots of long hair, and the track titles suggested it wasn't a folk or a funk soul album, and it isn't. It's a full-on rock album. I have to say the more recent remastered one is the one to have. This is the original from 1975. Next is another one that works really, really well, and that is United by Judas Priest. I have to say, probably my least favourite Judas Priest track in a way. It's so forced in its terrace. It means united as metal fans, but united as being in alignment here with the football theme. It works really well. British Steel. It's interesting when the Tim Brooke Taylor hairstyle that Rob had on this, but there's so many tracks on here. You don't have to be old to be wise. It's probably my favourite. Is it, Phil? No, actually, it's the Steeler from the Super Deluxe edition, which I should have had in front of me. It's grown on me a lot, actually. Steeler, and you don't have to be old to be wise. But the track here is United. And this one is obvious. It's Queen, News of the World. We Are the Champions, which was probably where with my relationship with Queen started to drift a little bit after this. But We Will Rock You, I thought that was going to be killer. There's another track on here, isn't there? Sheer Heart Attack. Pure speed metal, that one. But anyway, it's We Are the Champions from News of the World. And finally, in my 10 tracks that have a kind of tenuous World Cup football feel, is Shoot to Thrill from AC/DC from Back in Black. I'll just have to say that when we bought this, because this is going back to when a key member of the band dies, Bon Scott, and there's record labels and there's youth and everything, and the record label says, "Oh, this is really sad, but we need to get a new album out." So Brian Johnson comes in, and I remember buying this thinking, what's it going to be like? And Hell's Bells, of course, is just huge. But I remember when Shoot to Thrill started for the first time, and I heard it for the first time, and it's following Hell's Bells, I just thought, this is going to be one of the best albums of the year. And it is, isn't it? Giving the Dog the Bone, What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Let Me Put My Love Into You, all the innuendos mixed together with absolutely full-on chili sauce. Shake a Leg, Have a Drink on Me. So yeah, the track here is Shoot to Thrill. So those are my 10 tracks to help those of you who are watching the football as a soundtrack, and those of you who aren't interested in football. Those are 10 songs to just put into a playlist now and bounce around your local neighbourhood. Okay, now I'm going to pick 5 albums. Why not 10? Because that's your job. You pick the albums that I could have picked. So it's a play on words. Okay, first one is, just looking around to see if I've actually got them all here. I think I have, otherwise I'll disappear. Defenders of the Faith, more Priest. Defenders of the Faith, it was the title of the album that's brought me into this. I just thought, yeah, Defenders of the Faith, I can imagine that being it's a kind of album that would work, that's going to work really well as a soundtrack, I think, to the festivities going on. Master of all metal, it says on the back. This is my original look. I have the opportunity to try and win a motorbike. Next is Black Sabbath, more Black Sabbath, but this time Aussie lineup, and this is Never Say Die. And I know a lot of people will be thinking that, won't they, as they enter into this tournament. But perfect, I think. I could have just picked the song, couldn't I? But I'm going to go with the album, Black Sabbath, because this album needs more love. Next, I'm becoming more concerned. I haven't got all the CDs here. Going for the One by Yes from 1977. Makes sense to me. A great album to play during this time. Now, a very underrated band. Very underrated. Should feature them more. I actually played this whole album this morning, and this was the catalyst. And it's Playing the Game from 1976 by that super underrated band, Nazareth. This album did hardly anything in the UK, but it did well in various parts of Europe and in Canada. But it's brilliant. Let's hear it for Nazareth, Playing the Game 1976. I'll have to count these up at the end because I can't remember where I am. And then Straight Shooter by Bad Company. Makes sense, doesn't it? 1975. Absolutely stunning album, which I've featured before, but there's always a reason to play Straight Shooter by Bad Company. Now, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5, actually. Oh, it's a football theme, isn't it? So it's a football theme. I need a reserve. Gosh, I should do more of these. Not about football, but videos. You never know. Might catch on. Anyway, my last one in the reserve seat, bench. I know the terminology. The Ace album, Five-A-Side from 1974. They're even playing football on the back. Gosh, this is almost as if I planned it. You know what's great about this? This is Paul Carrick on keyboards and vocals. What a voice. Of course, Mike and the Mechanics, some of you might know him better for. But for those of you of a certain age, How Long, track 3, not even the opening song, How Long, this was the hit from this album. That guitar solo, that kind of like finger-picked SG. Let's say this guy's name. Lead guitar, Phil Harris. After all these years, it still sounds absolutely amazing to me. How Long from Five-A-Side by Ace. So that is my list of 5 plus a reserve albums that have a kind of tenuous link to the World Cup, and then 10 tracks to listen to get you in the mood for it, or to, if you're not interested at all, to go away and turn that up and put together a playlist. So what would you pick? Play on words, either songs or albums that work along this theme. Let me know in the comments wherever you are, whether you're on the WhatsApp group because you're a patron, or whether you're on the YouTube channel or in the comment section or on the website there, wherever you are, let me know. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Thank you so much for all of your support. Check out the website at nowspending.co.uk. We have our own merch store and a music shop as well now with CDs, vinyl and box sets which you can buy, and we have a podcast. And again, if you do become a patron, you get access to our private communities and lots of other stuff as well. Take care, keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.